There are times when we don't feel so confident about ourselves, especially when you're doing something for a long time and you don't really see the results from it. And to be honest, this is something that I struggle with as well. On the other hand, there are people who have ego instead of lack of confidence, and there are people who don't have confidence at all. And I would like to offer my perspective on how to gain some confidence in yourself, and how to remember that you actually have things to be confident about. So I actually kind of struggle with this sometimes quite a bit, where I would really just forget about the things that I've done before in my past. So this used to happen to me a lot. I mean, it still is something that I am kind of dealing with and learning how to deal with. And that is, I would just kind of forget about things that actually made me confident, and things that I've done in the past. And I'm working on a business, right? Or we could say I'm self-employed. And in this line of work, usually you would, it would take a while before you would get any results. It can really take some time to uh, really get where you want to be. And it's not easy because you sit there and people around you may be doubting you. Most of the time it is your parents who may be doubting you because you're not getting any income and it's been like more than a year. And not kind of, you're also doubting yourself. You're thinking, it's been like a year or more, and it doesn't seem that anything has been happening. But that's not entirely true most of the time. It depends on what kind of person you are. But I'd say most people should have something that they could be confident about. So for myself, this was a problem where I just did not remember anything that I did, that I actually went through. Like my mind is very biased, and actually most of our minds are biased towards negativity, right? Towards remembering negative experiences, and it's normal because, in fact, we've evolved to be biased towards negative experiences because we learn from those, right? And we do remember positive experiences sometimes. For example, for surviving sake, you would remember if there was, resources or some food somewhere that you didn't get to. It is even more important to be aware of dangers and not get yourself not dead, right? So you would remember things you've done that were mistakes a lot easier. And when it comes to our life day to day, we would remember our mistakes, would remember all the things we didn't do and did badly, but we wouldn't remember most of the time, or at least I, wouldn't, the things that I did, the things that I could really be actually proud of myself, the things that could give me confidence. And um, I was thinking about, what confidence really is, and this one good definition from Alex Hormozy, if you if anyone's familiar with him. And he says basically that confidence is, you can be confident in yourself if you actually do what you say you're gonna do, and you have a stack of undeniable proof. Actually, he says the latter part, but I say a lot, and a lot of other people also mention it, that confidence is also certainty in yourself, right? If you uh, can say that, let's say I will do X and you actually do X, when you say that, that will give you confidence. Uh, on the other hand, confidence is also, uh, you know, you knowing what you've done before, right? It's the failures, it's the effort that you've done. Like, how can you be confident about yourself if you've not done, if you've not gone through hardships before? Or how can you be confident or feel good about, for example, in my case, how I feel about the year if I don't remember all the things that I've actually done in that time, right? If it actually does feel like a waste, or as if I've just failed completely, then of course it'll feel like that, right? But if you remember the things you've done, then you wouldn't really feel that way. So for myself, one of the things I've done is I've started. I was thinking about this for a while, and now I'm going to definitely do this. Is I've created like what I call a wall of confidence, right? And I know this sounds like woozy, but it's not. It's really not. Just hear me out. All it is actually a list of wins you had, a list of W's that you did, right? And this is not necessarily um, actual wins that you've done, like, for example, earned $2,000 or whatever. It's more so, all the work that you've done, even if it didn't result in anything, because that really shows that you've actually like progressed. It shows that you were able to push through hard things, and you actually have done something. Like, at least for me, when I look back at the things I've done that I don't remember at all, for example, um, I I took my followers on Twitter, and I had at the time something like 1,200 followers, and I took those followers and I uh reached out to every single one of them using an like automation, and that wasn't the easy part, to just reach out to them and say like, oh hi, how are things going, right? That was the easy part, but the hard part is actually replying to all of them, because that I had to do manually, and I'll actually change these oaks later, I think. That I had to do manually. So I sat down for hours, and I literally have video recording this because I posted it on my other channel, which I'm never gonna probably talk about here. I actually recorded the video of me literally just sitting there and reaching out, or like replying to people for 3 hours straight, and that was only a part of what I've done, because that actually took me much longer than that. I don't remember how long now, but I have evidence of it, and I remember it, right? And that really kind of shows in perspective, to me at least, that like, wow, I've actually done cool shit. I've actually done like a lot of work on this kind of thing, and that's like impressive. That is worth being proud of yourself, and that is worth having confidence. Like, I actually did this thing. Like, yeah, sure, it didn't work out, but that's not like um that's not really what confidence is to me, at the very least, because you don't have to have confidence in your successes. To me, it is much more important to have my confidence in the work I've done, especially if you know that it can take a long time to get somewhere, especially in business, or really anything almost. It takes time to get somewhere, and you can't just get there straight away. So it can take time and long time and failure. I'm not really sure if this is the right color for this, to be honest. Hmm. Mm, maybe I'll use like stone ones. Yeah, let me destroy these. And so if I know to myself that even if, I didn't move forward financially in a year, I would know that I've worked for a year. Okay, what? I worked for a year and actually put in a lot of effort, and actually moved forward in other ways by learning, by, showing my own work ethic to myself. All those things are worthy things to, be confident about. And then that's just one of them. The other things, for example, were, I spent like probably like 30 hours writing and designing a whole like lead magnet about something. I'm not gonna say what it is. Um, that is like pretty high quality, and like that's something like, when I look back on it, because I forget about these things, but when I look back at that thing I made, I'm thinking, wow, like, who is this Giga Chad that came before me and made this thing? Like, that almost doesn't seem like me. because I literally just forgot I made this. And when I think about it, I'm like, wow, this is something that actually is worth being proud about. So that's why I created this wall of, so to speak, confidence. All right, so, I need to figure out what to do with this home because it's been a while and I don't remember anything. But I swear to God, uh, I'm going to write down my notes. Otherwise, I'm gonna forget them. Ah, create clipboard. That's actually probably exactly what I want. On the other hand, you may actually have nothing to be confident about. And at the end of the day, the only way you would feel confident about something in that sense is if you actually do things and have proof that you've actually done them. You don't even need to succeed necessarily, right? Um, you can be, well, context is, confidence is contextual. So if you say, are you confident about being able to succeed in a certain thing? You can be confident if you've actually done that thing before and succeeded with it. So there's a certain balance to it as well. But in terms of self-confidence, in terms of how you feel, the only way you can really have that is if you actually do what you say and you have evidence that you are someone worthy of, well, being confident in, right? So if you're in that position, if you have no confidence, I mean, the only other way out is to actually do things, is to actually go through hardships, right? If you don't have external hardships, then you need self-induced hardships, all right? By actually doing hard things. Like, think about things that would make you, someone worthy of respect, right? If you told me, like some stranger told me, oh yeah, I've actually sit down for, you know, I was literally working 16 hours a day and I sat down like for 2 weeks to do this thing, like I'll be like, oh, wow, okay, that's dedication that I can really respect, right? And that's the same kind of respect that you have for yourself that you can definitely accumulate if you work on it. Now, on the other hand, kind of side of the same coin, there are people who have high ego. And honestly, I saw a lot of these kind of people. Well, I know a few, and they're kind of close friends of mine in a way. Well, they're fairly close friends of mine, and there's some good things to respect about them, but they still have ego, which is also interesting because they can very well be confident but not egotistical about something. Now, what is ego? I actually had to think about this for a little bit, and I had a better definition before, but I'll just go over this one for now. The best way I can explain ego is someone who tries to fake confidence through covering their own self-deficiencies, making up things that they haven't actually done or pretending that they've done them, right? Or like raising their own capabilities or status by just doing things kind of artificially. Like, for example, if you have a car, but it's not your car, you didn't actually earn it for your money, and your parents gave you the car, but you still show off the car as if you've, made it, as if you bought it for your money, or you like mention it or bring it up in a way that kind of is obvious that you're showing it off, but you've not actually done the thing. And it's not just showing off the things that you've not done, but it's also in general just showing off, because even if you did buy a car, but you're always talking about it as if like that is so important, then that is still ego because you're trying to cover a deficiency, as if you cannot be good without a car, right? Someone who is confident wouldn't need to bring up the fact that they have a car or don't have a car. It doesn't matter to them. So they don't have to be affected by what other people say because they are confident in themselves or whatever happens to them, right? So because if someone comes to me, for example, and will tell me how much of a loser I am or whatever. Now that may hurt a bit, of course, because I'm so, self-conscious, but at the same time, no one will ever know, not even my closest friends, will ever know how much work I've put into the things I've done. And no one will know exactly how much work you've done, only you will, right? And I will never know how much work they've done. Like, we will never see and feel and understand the kind of things that people have to go through to get where they are. But when you know the things you've done, it doesn't matter what other people tell you, because you know they will never know. Like when some people that I know, maybe like classmates of mine or whatever, and nobody have really like openly said it, but I kind of know some of them will feel that way, right? They would feel that, oh, this guy's a loser because he's not making any money right now. It's because they have no clue, right? Sometimes you may make money, sometimes you don't make money. Like that's not what determines who you are, or what kind of um how good of a person you are, how much you matter, and all those kind of things, right? Now that may kind of determine status in the group, but that status is just artificial anyway. What really makes you who you are and is the things you do, right? No one will take away the fact that you're hardworking if you are hardworking, right? They cannot take away your confidence if you are confident in yourself. And that's where confidence comes in. And this actually been a pretty kind of powerful thing that drives me forward in a lot of times. And I'm trying to find Andesite, by the way, but I cannot for the life of me find Andesite when I need it. I'll need to find some kind of cave probably. Um, and that's kind of the thing that kept driving me forward, even when I didn't feel as good, or thought that um, I need to make a shield, or thought that I'm not maybe doing well or something. These are the times when I need to really remind myself about the things I've done, and that's when I have sometimes failed myself in doing that because I just don't even remember the good things I've done. And of course, I'd feel, not confident in myself if I don't think that I've done many worthy things of respect, worthy things of having confidence. Like, if you know you work every day, your ass off, you definitely would feel pretty damn confident in yourself. And of course, I'm not perfect. I still am working on myself in terms of how much I work and all those kind of things. But um, but at least I can think back on my time and realize that there's a lot I have done and there's a lot of things I can be proud of. At the same time, I also found out something, and this may relate to some of you guys, that at the same time while I am doing some of these pretty hard things actually, like sitting and for like 30 hours and making this one thing, that a lot of other people just spend like 1 hour on a code a day, right? And I know for a fact that there are people out there. Why are there so many creepers here? So many people out there that would, for example, Alex Mosey, right, and other uh, millionaires, and people I just, don't know, but I know there's a lot of them who would instead spend a lot of time on those things. Wait, that's a good screenshot right there. Would spend a lot of time, even more time, on those things than I have. And so I keep raising my standards myself without even realizing, and then I call myself lazy or feel bad about myself, not realizing I'm actually becoming better every time at something. So this is kind of interesting. So like when it comes to work, I keep doing this to myself. In fact, even like I do try to focus a lot, and I do try to become better at working more and those kind of things. And sometimes it goes down by a bit. Like you know, these days it's not as good as it has been at my peak. But you know, to be fair, I probably don't give myself enough credit, uh, given the fact that my environment is much worse to work on right now, and I still kind of manage somehow. You know, I probably am doing way better than I think if I look back at the times when I was in similar environments and I wasn't doing as well as I do now. But that aside, in even without that, I probably am doing much better than I think I am, and I just, you know, don't compare to where I was before, and I'm only thinking about this standard that keeps increasing, and of course I feel bad about myself. So maybe some of you will relate to that, and you know, maybe like give yourself a little break or a little like appreciation for like, oh wow, like I'm doing quite good because I am you know, getting somewhere where I want to be. So that was it for today's video. And if you guys resonate with this, leave some comments below. And let's maybe start a conversation. Give me some ideas of things that maybe I could talk about in the next videos. See you guys.